got a few minutes of this song before we can get ready.
I've got the reach and the teeth of a killing machine, with a need to bleed you when the light goes green. Best believe I'm in the zone to be, from a yin to my yang to Z. Put a grin on my chin when you come to me, 'cause I'll win, I'm a one of a kind, and I'll bring death to the place you're about to be. Another river of blood running under my feet, forged in a fire lit long ago. Stand next to me, you'll never stand alone. I'm last to leave, but the first to go. Lord, make me dead before you make me old. I'll feed on the fear of the devil inside, of the enemy faces in my sight. Aim with a hand, shoot with a mind, kill with a heart like Arctic ice. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior, this is my song. I am a warrior and this is my song. I'm basking the glow of the rising war, lay waste to the ground of an enemy shore. Wade through the blood spilled on the floor, and if another one stands, I'll kill some more. Bullet in the breach and a fire in me, like a cigarette thrown to gasoline. If death don't bring you fear, I swear you'll fear these marching feet. Come to the nightmare, come to me, deep down in the dark where the devil be. In the mall where the jaws and the razor teeth, where the brimstone burns and the angel weeps. Call to the gods of across your path, and my silhouette hangs like a body bag. Hope is a moment now long past, the shadow of death is the one I cast. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. My eyes are steel and my gaze is long. I cannot hear you. I am a warrior and this is my song. We're not just going to shoot the bastard. We're going to cut out their living guts and use them to grease the treads of our tanks. We're going to murder those lousy bastards by the bushel. Now I live lean and I mean to inflict the grief, and the least of me is still out of your reach. The killing machine's gonna do the deed until the river runs dry and my last breath leaves. Chin in the air with a head held high, I'll stand in the path of the enemy line. Feel no fear, know my pride. For God and country, I'll end your life. I am a soldier and I'm marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. My eyes are steel and my gaze is long. I am a warrior and this is my song. All right, now you sons of bitches, you know how I feel.
Good evening. This is Warrior Empowerment Hour here on WRGG 93.7 FM with Mr. Too Easy. So I'm going to start it up. We have a few reads right quick, so bear with me while I read these. So here we go. We have the Greencastle Atrium Education Foundation second annual Raising the Bar family-friendly New Year's Eve celebration will be held at 6:30 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, December 31st at Cayley's Field at the Greencastle Atrium School campus. Mayor Ben Thomas Jr. will lead the countdown at 7:45 p.m. Contact Cheryl Brown at 717-658-0961 for more information. Alternate 2 Top Fellowship Christmas dinner will be held at the 2 Top Rutan and Rutan Road in Mercersburg on Saturday, January the 4th at 6:30 p.m. Masters 4 will sing. All right, that sounds good. Masters 4 will sing. All right. Then we have Thursday. We have Grace United Church of Christ, located at 128 East Baltimore Street here in Greencastle, will have a free meal consisting of soup, sandwiches, drinks, and dessert on Saturday, January the 4th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. All are welcome. Donations are accepted. The Greencastle Atrium Pantry, located at Greencastle Presbyterian Church, has the following needs for December: mustard, ketchup, mayonnaise, soup. Oh, excuse me, my screen just went out. Soup, canned vegetables, canned fruit, rice mixes, canned pasta, such as Chef Boyardee and salad dressing. Okay, Waynesboro Model Railroad Club, located at 3291 Wayne Castle Road, will hold an open house from noon to 4 p.m. on the 4th, the 5th, and the 12th of January. Let's see what else we have here. The Arts Alliance of Greater Waynesboro will be hosting a community book club on Sunday, January the 5th from 1:30 to 3 p.m. The meeting takes place at Music Markers, located at 46 West Main Street in Waynesboro. This month's book is The Overstory by Richard Powell. All are welcome. Saturday, Grace's Closet, located at Grace United Church of Christ at 128 East Baltimore Street in Greencastle, is open Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Clothing and other items are available to those in need. Call Nancy L. Myers at 717-360-3021 for more information. A Red Cross blood donation will be held on Friday, January 3rd from 12:30 to 6 p.m. at the Fire Hall at 34 Schoolhouse Road in St. Thomas. So those are our reads right now. And if you're just now tuning in, this is Mr. Too Easy, Mr. Don Brown on Warrior Empowerment Hour on WRGG 93.7 FM. And we also have a special guest on our show tonight. We have Mr. Chuck Timbrock, and he's the owner of Blackout, the creator of Blackout, and then he also has the House of Blackout, which is a wonderful podcast. And we're going to have Chuck talk about that right now. So welcome to the show, Chuck. How you doing?
Oh, good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well.
First thing I need to do is thank you for your service.
Oh, no problem, sir.
God bless our veterans. I'm tickled to death with the House of Blackout, and it's something new to me, and it brings veterans into a show that we can actually sit down and talk to them, just like you did.
Yes.
And we learned a lot. You know, when you was down there, it was a very powerful moment of inspiration to learn about PTSD, and we actually do a show late tonight. We're doing the Vietnam veteran or the Vietnam War era, and I'm learning. I studied up on this a little bit, so it's kind of a learning experience to me, let alone a learning experience for everybody that listens. So, but I learned a lot by reading up on it and getting into it, and it's going to be a pretty strong, 30 minutes of the Vietnam War, and God bless them guys, man. Between Agent Orange and PTSD, I mean, them guys, they did a lot of suffering, and then they come home and get spit on and everything else. If you are a Vietnam veteran out there, I want to tell you right now, welcome home, and God bless you.
Definitely. Thank you for leading the way. I'm an OEF veteran. I served from 03 to 05 and then 2009 to 2010. So definitely you Vietnam veterans have paved the way for me, and I'm continuing my message. And of course, like most Vietnam veterans tell me, because I'm also a lifetime member of the local VFW, for anyone else that's a veteran, sign up for your VFW, your American Legion, your AMVETS. Okay, these guys has created these organizations for us. Okay, so definitely everyone sign up and go in there and talk to a fellow veteran, fellow battle buddy, fellow brother. And I know I've learned in my journey and after my combat in the Army that even though we have these different wars, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, the Korean War, OIF, OEF, Noble Eagle, and Desert Storm and stuff like that, all of us have one thing in common, and that's combat. But you know what? The brain sees everything exactly the same. Because I never thought I would have something in common with the Vietnam veteran, especially, like PTSD and the TBI. And, we sit around and we talk like we've known each other for years, and it's wonderful. And I say it's wonderful only because the fellowship. It's not wonderful that we went to war and stuff like that, but the fellowship, the knowing that at my age that, you guys have led the way and lived through this for the time you lived through it, and you guys are teaching me how to live through it. Mm-hmm. So there's no therapist in the world that can actually teach you and give you coping skills like another veteran before you have. And I thank you guys for that. My hat definitely goes off to you. And keep up you guys' great work. And I'll switch it back to Mr. Chuck.
Man, you do your job awesome. I like listening to you.
Oh, man, thank you, sir.
That's why I got interested in doing this show,
Mm-hmm.
This House of Blackout, because, the enthusiasm and just something different.
Yes.
And that's like next year when we do our Christmas cards and our thank you cards overseas.
Yeah.
Midsummer, we're sending cards to our troops overseas, thank you cards. And I'm going to be using the Berkeley County and hopefully the Washington County school system.
Okay.
And our veterans facility, like the VA Center in Martinsburg, it'll actually be some veterans, that's going to be sending these cards over to our active troops overseas.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I think that would be a big encouragement to know that there's veterans back in the VA hospital that actually is standing behind our men and women, overseas right now. And so I'm looking forward to that. And then our Christmas next year. This is a whole new thing to me, because for 7 years we were just servicing the VA Center, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was, me and my wife did, a majority of that here, and it just became a little bit more stressful trying to get everything done and rush around. So I think the Christmas card will be a little bit more relaxing and more enjoyable, as far as not running around like a chicken with his head cut off trying to get stuff done. And so I'm stepping into a new thing overseas. But I've got people now that's telling me, hey, I got your contact for this. When you're ready for these cards, you contact this person, and this person will get a hold of, and these cards there ain't gonna be no shipping, no postage. Everything will be covered.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so one thing I got to do is, come up with the cards. And so what I'm asking on my show is about if you want to donate, I can actually use the cards more than I can use the money.
Okay.
So if you want to pick up a box of Christmas cards or a box of thank you cards and mail them to the address, House of Blackout, 49 Powell Lane, Martinsburg, West Virginia, 25404. That would be awesome. I know a lot of places would just rather have the money, but to me, we got a job to get done, and it doesn't matter whether it's in green or it's in a box.
That's right.
We're gonna get it done. 10 million. I want 10 million. I'm 10 million. 10,000.
Okay.
I'm sorry. 10,000.
No problem.
My first goal was 10,000 cards across seas.
Okay.
Between summer for the thank you and Christmas for the Christmas season. So
awesome.
I want 10,000 cards sent.
Yeah.
And I'll get it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I will push. I'll get it.
Yeah.
And you know me. I mean, when I set my mind on it, I ain't giving up on it. But
That's true.
hey, I have a special thing I want to tell you here.
Sure.
I got a phone call today, and I get a lot of these phone calls, and it's heartbreaking. I got a gentleman. Now I've never met this gentleman, but the guy who called me is a fellow biker who does a lot of rides with Blackout. And Rory Roadkill, and I'm going to say Kai Dendel is his last name. I hope I pronounced that right. U.S. Army Airborne, 82nd and 101 First. Was a Purple Heart, Bronze Star, Army, accommodation. I said that wrong. Accommodation. And 2 tours in Vietnam, extended. So we haven't really figured out what extended means, but we're kind of thinking that when his time was up, they wouldn't let him go at that time. He had to wait it out until a special time. But he is actually, they give him a day to live. and so he's on his deathbed.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to send some prayers out to him and his family.
Okay.
And I wanted to let everybody know that this man served our country.
Mm-hmm.
And with them kind of the Purple Heart and the Bronze Star and the Army Commendation. I mean, that's just unreal.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what I call a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to send prayers to his family and all of his buddies, all his biker buddies, and everybody else. And God bless them all. And you're definitely in our prayers.
All right, no problem. Well, you guys heard that. That's one of the guys that led the way in the Vietnam era. 2 tours extended with the Purple Heart, Bronze Star, and right now he's about to go home. But guys, just if you're out there, say a nice prayer, have a moment of silence. We're going to do about a good 5 seconds of silence. I know it's a little different on the radio station because we have dead air. It's kind of, people kind of change the channel, but we're just going to do 5 seconds, a moment of silence right quick for him. And definitely if you're tuning in, please have a prayer for him and his family. Okay, so we're going to have a moment of silence. Okay, and we're back. So we're back. If you're just now tuning in, this is Don Brown, Mr. Too Easy at Warrior Empowerment Hour on WRGG 93.7 FM. We have Chuck Timbrook, the owner-operator of Blackout, and also has his podcast, The House of Blackout. So he was just telling us about a Vietnam veteran that's about to go home and with a lot of accommodations from the Army and from his service. So on that note, I'll tell you guys some of the things that I've experienced with the House of Blackout and Chuck all in one, because it's all in one, the Chuck Timbrook family. So I know, I think it was like last week. Yeah, it was like right before Christmas, I believe it was. I was going through a little situation, and Chuck didn't know, and Brian didn't know. I just stopped by, drop off a thumb drive with some stuff on it, information, and we sat, and they was actually filming the House of Blackout with Blue Havoc, and came in there, and they encouraged me to stay, be on the show. And I just wasn't feeling well because I had got some bad news and stuff like that. But it was actually wonderful. Stayed there for like 45 minutes, and we just talked and chilled, and just talked about Blue Havoc, talked about regular everyday things, and it just goes to show, God is good. That even though Chuck is not a stranger to me, it's just he didn't know what I was going through, and Brian didn't know, and Charles didn't know, but I came in there and we just fellowship just like guys do. And, it uplifted me so much. I got back in the car, called the wife. I was like, babe, you won't believe what happened. So she was thinking the worst case. And she was like, oh, God, what did you do? So I was like, no, I went to see Chuck, dropping off something. And we was in there for like 45 minutes to an hour. We were just talking. I got to see the truck Blue Havoc. And she was like, oh, okay. So she was like, you sound like you're in a better mood. I said, you know what? I actually am. And I saw Blue Havoc a few years ago at Custom Accents, right before he got the paint job on it. I saw it when it was just all blue with the, I forgot the name of the bumper, but it was like these big bumpers and stuff, begin with a G or something, I don't know, but it was awesome. It was getting lighting done. So now to see it transform into the truck it is now was just awesome. And then, going through what I was going through, we talked about it, walked around the truck, and, Chuck would just encourage me to stay for a minute, and it was just awesome, and it's just, whether you believe, whatever you believe in, as long as you believe in a higher power, you can believe in a tree, I don't care. But obviously, I was at the right place at the right time for that right reason. And Chuck, I thank you and your family for everything that you guys do, for every veteran, every era, because you had no idea how I was feeling. You was just, hey, you're welcome, come on in, and just your spirit. And, I want people to understand, Chuck's spirit, it lights up a room. It's like a supernova. It just no matter how you feeling, that spirit just uplifts you. Because trust me, I was feeling terrible. And this month is kind of like an anniversary month because my youngest brother was in the Marine Corps and he died in line of duty on Christmas Eve. So with that and then this going on, and you and everybody, the buddies, and we just started fellowshipping, chit-chatting, and just talking, and you have no idea, because you didn't know until I posted on Facebook how I was feeling. But it was just wonderful that you're that type of person. It's just, your light shines, brother. It really does.
I appreciate it.
And I greatly, greatly appreciate it, and I thank you. And it just goes to show, no matter how you may feeling out there, because PTSD, TBI, depression, no matter how you feel, when you have someone great like a Chuck Timbrook and his family, and they encourage you, hey, just sit down for a minute, don't buck it, because I was like, nah, guys, I got stuff to do, and then I stayed, and we had a wonderful time. So and that's just food for thought for anybody out there. You don't have to be in the military to do something like that. It's just everyone has a bad day, but if you have someone encouraging you, hey, just stay a little, just chit chat, talk, boom, and you never know what may happen. And trust me, it uplifted my spirits greatly. It really did. So that's just a few of the things that, Chuck Timbrook, the House of Blackout do for veterans like myself and others, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. But I know I just express because I use social media a lot. But I'm sure there's some guys that may come by Chuck's place and just be, feeling a certain kind of way. And they don't say anything. They just sit there talking. And the next thing you know, they feeling better. So, which is great. And I thank you, brother. I really do.
I appreciate it, bro. Hey, you guys want to tune in, man, anytime. I told you, my door's always open.
Mm-hmm.
It's door swings wide open for veterans, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear everything.
Yeah.
And that's what the show's about.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you tune into YouTube and you go to YouTube and put in Blackout Veterans Tribute, and you'll see all the episodes of House of Blackout. You're not looking at a professional. You're looking at a man who never served, who's learning just like you will learn as you watch some of these programs.
Mm-hmm.
And it also give you some laughs, because I don't hide anything. If I screw up, we just keep going.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some laughs involved there. But why hide it? I mean,
Yeah.
This ain't perfect TV. So
That's right.
you watching YouTube. I mean, you have time to spare anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Dominic. I mean, you ever having a bad day, just sit down and watch one of these House of Blackout shows and listen to these veterans talk. Not me. Listen to the veterans talk, and it gets your mind on something different. And we always get barred from music because YouTube's funny about music.
Yeah.
And they keep kicking these letters back. I'm waiting to get my fingers smacked
Right.
around. But I always try to sneak music. Well, my boy, he always tries to sneak music in there, and we get our fingers smacked. But
yeah.
we do it. We do it not to. It just fits the program.
Yeah.
Like AC/DC. I mean, Thunder. When you look at Blackout, coming at you, it just reminds you of AC/DC, Thunder,
Mm-hmm.
And but we got our hands smacked on that one. But yeah, our truck is our truck's getting ready to be tore down now, and we're done for the season, and we'll spend the next 3 months tearing pretty much everything off of it and going over every little nut and bolt and make sure that that when it comes out next spring, that all the changes and everything's tip-top shelf. And now's where the money's expended. Everybody thinks running during the summer is expensive. No. Running during the summer is expensive, but it ain't nearly as expensive as teardown season.
Right.
With as much public and people that's around that truck during the summertime, I have to make sure that everything is absolutely safe and functional on the truck. And that's just the way I pride myself in what I built. And I know it helps a lot of our veterans, when they get to see the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes them, some of them, it takes them back in time to where they're remembering a brother.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said on my show, I don't never bring no names up, never use a name.
Mm-hmm.
But when he told me his story about how he carried his buddies out of the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
only to see him pass on in his arms or once he put him down. And you know, it's just you know, you got to have respect.
Definitely.
You know, in this generation today, our younger generation today, you know, I just things got to change. You know, with the respect. I mean, you still got some kids out there that's very respectful, but you got a majority of them that you know don't respect our veterans at all, nor do they respect the elderly. And you know, that's I just wish I could snap my fingers and cure that, but that's not you know the way it works. So, I could snap my fingers and sing a tune, but it'd probably be off key. You know?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Speaking of tunes, we're gonna take a break and play a song right quick. So stand.